It's common knowledge that eels are slimy, creepy-looking fish that live in both fresh and salt water. They also have the reputation of being able to shock their prey with up to 600 volts of electricity. But how do electric eels generate such high voltages? And how does this voltage compare to other animals and everyday objects? Hi, I'm here to explain science. First off, an eel's electric shock isn't instantaneous. Instead, they discharge their electricity in a series of pulses over several minutes. This helps their prey, which is often a fish, to slowly become paralyzed so the eel can eat it. Also, their electric discharges don't actually stun the prey as much as they make the prey's muscles contract. So the eel doesn't really use its electricity to stun its prey. It uses it to paralyze its prey. But what's the mechanism behind an electric eel's shocking abilities? Electric eels have 3 types of specialized cells called electric organs. The first 2 are for generating and storing electrical potential energy. The third one is for discharging that energy. Organs are composed of thousands of disc-shaped cells called electrocytes. Each electrocyte acts like a tiny battery with the positive and negative ends. When the eel wants to produce an electric shock, it tells its electrocytes to pump ions, which are atoms that have an electric charge. From the negative end to the positive end, this creates an electric potential, much like the potential energy you get at the top of a roller coaster.
Ow.
Each electrocyte only produces about 60 volts. But there are around 4,000 of them stacked together in the eel's electric organs. So when all those electrocytes pump ions and create potential energy, the voltage adds up to around 600 volts. That's enough voltage to power 6 100-watt light bulbs or 20 36-watt compact fluorescent lights. When the eel has built up enough potential energy, it sends a signal to its main electric organ to discharge. In less than a second, the ions flow back across the membranes of the electrocytes, from the positive side to the negative side. Releasing the stored electrical potential energy as an electric shock, the eel's body is like a wire connecting the positive and negative sides of the main electric organ. So when the ions flow back and forth through the eel's body, it completes the circuit and delivers a shocking zap. The electric eel is the most highly evolved animal that uses electricity to hunt. Other animals like sharks and rays also generate electricity, but they use it for sensing their surroundings, not for stunning prey. Electric eels are actually more closely related to freshwater eels than to saltwater eels. They're found in slow-moving, murky waters of South America, where their electricity helps them to find prey in dark or dirty water. Their eyes are actually pretty bad. Now, the electric eel isn't the only animal that can produce a lot of voltage. A pufferfish can create a 200-volt shock, which it uses as a defense mechanism. And a torpedo can produce a 220-volt shock, which it uses to stun its prey. Torpedoes are actually closer relatives of electric eels than you might think. Both animals belong to a group called the gymnolamates. But unlike electric eels, which have 3 electric organs, torpedoes have one big electric organ that runs the length of their head. Of course, some animals are naturally more conductive to electricity than others. A dry environment like air makes it harder for electricity to flow. That's why electric eels need to be in water to deliver a shock. Water is much more conductive because water molecules easily break apart into positively and negatively charged ions, making it easier for electricity to flow through them. Humans aren't great conductors of electricity, but we still feel shocks from everyday objects like doorknobs and electrical outlets every day. That's because these objects are usually connected to a larger circuit that has a lot of current flowing through it. Current is the rate at which electricity flows. And while you might not get zapped by an everyday object unless you touch it for a long time, if you were submerged in water while touching an electrical outlet, you could easily get a fatal shock. That's because the water makes it easier for electricity to flow through your body. So when you're near water and electricity, watch out for the eels. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to learn more about how electricity works, check out the series Electric Company. All the episodes are on the channel now.